Good morning, Fort Worth. You found the Fort Worth Roots Morning Show. It is 6th January. I'm here with Brandon from Motive Auto. Morning, Brandon.
Morning.
We got the Fort Worth Morning Show here for you Monday through Thursday. We film from a rad little spot called Hoppin', which is on Weisenberger Street, right down the road from, oh, help me, Doc's Records.
Right down the road from the dispensary on Carroll.
Oh, you're talking about Thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like Thrive. We've got friends over there. I actually had a conversation with somebody yesterday. Brad over at Boulevard Brew, another sponsor of the show, was telling me he walked in there and he said his words, the lady there was so nice and so inviting that we ended up buying way more than we ever would have. But she is such a nice lady. I was like, I know her.
Yeah.
And you're right.
She
Absolutely.
is very nice. Well, all she's doing is trying to help people out.
That's a fact. She's got a really interesting story about why she uses the products that they have there. Mm-hmm. And I'm here for it. All right, let's get into weather, folks. It's cold outside. I've got a story from Star Telegram, I think is what we pulled that up on, talking about the impending weather coming this way. 23 degrees right now outside. What'd your car say?
My car said 24.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the forecast for Tuesday. 36 for a high, 27 for a low. Okay, we're going to pause the weather for a minute. We got Sky Viper coming in hot. Mr. Matt Stubbs.
What's going on, sir?
Are you up there in Sky Viper?
I am. It's a negative 167 degrees up here.
I bet. Yeah, temperature's aloft. You lose about 1 degree for every, 1,000 feet?
I think so.
How you feeling, man? We missed you last week.
Oh, yeah. I don't go back to work till Epiphany Day.
Epiphany Day. Tell us more.
Yeah. That's also known as Three Kings Day, celebrated in many Judeo-Christian families and groups of people. So.
Well, I think looking forward to our National Day of today is Three Kings Day, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, so you're going back to the work, putting the nose back to the grindstone.
Mm-hmm. Getting ready for to make money in 2020. Oh, Candy, put your top back on.
She can't be. It's too cold for that. Keep her bundled
way
up.
Too cold. Goodness gracious! Nothing done around here.
So good to have you back, brother.
Traffic?
Yeah, let's get that traffic. Come on.
All right, I-35. We got northbound congestion near downtown Fort Worth. Expect delays of 15 to 20 minutes. Southbound looks like it's going pretty well. On the Ronald Reagan Memorial Highway, eastbound is kind of slow near Heelan Street with delays around 10 minutes. This is because of a armadillo crash.
Armadillo?
Yep. In fact, did you know in 1947, Fort Worth hosted the world's first armadillo racing championship?
Who was the clear winner?
It turned into a disaster. They all got crazy and loose, and they had to bring in some local cowboys to wrangle them.
Daggum old armadillo ropers?
On Highway 121, southbound's looking good, but there's some backups near the DFW airport exit. So look out for that. And on Loop 820, heavy delays on the north side, or North Loop 820 at Beach Street and Roof Snow due to more road work. Seems like they didn't change from 2024, huh?
It's not far enough in our rearview mirror, I guess.
Right.
Well,
what else is going on, man? Who got in?
we just missed you. We just been sitting around going, "Where's Sky Viper?" Did you notice?
Sounds like a good show.
Did you notice all the salt? They've already put down a bunch of salt on the roadways.
Yeah, that doesn't affect me up here because I'm flying.
Right. Well, people just need to stop driving like there's already ice on the road, because I saw a lot of that behavior this morning on the way in.
Oh, no. Candy's going down to put some on her margarita schooner.
Get some of that road salt. That might be good. I don't know.
Yeah. Makes her breath bad, though.
All right, brother. Well, we're glad you're feeling better. Can we get you back on for tomorrow?
I think so, man.
All right. Sky Viper is back.
Good. Yeah, buddy. Thank you, Fort Worth Roots, Bloody Roots.
All right, brother. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
That is Matt Stubbs. He is the host of the Jerry Jonestown Massacre podcast, and it's a great show. Airs every Tuesday, and they have the best live chat room for their show out of any other podcast in the DFW area that I'm aware of. So go check that out. Tuesday night plays on YouTube, so that you can join the chat room. Just look for Jerry Jonestown Massacre podcast. Thanks again, Matt Stubbs. Good to have you back. He was sickly last week, and we had to count him out. Let's get back into this weather real quick. Tuesday, 36 for a high, 27 for a low. Wednesday, 37 for a high, 30 for a low. And then Thursday, it starts getting a little dicey. 32 degrees for a high, 28 for a low. And I've got a story on that from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Meanwhile, North Texans woke Sunday to a ferocious blast of Arctic air with gusty winds to 40 miles per hour. Sunday night and Monday morning will see lows in the 20s or teens, a frigid pattern that will continue all week. Here's the latest in what you need to know. As of Sunday evening, the National Weather Service said there is now a 70 to 80% chance that our entire forecast area observes at least measurable snowfall Wednesday through Friday morning. A shift of a few degrees by Thursday could diminish the chances of snow in Fort Worth. And they're thinking 2 to 3 inches could blanket the Interstate 20, Interstate 30 corridors, the Weather Service said. More on that at star-telegram.com. So you guys get bundled up. Make sure you got those pipes covered. Actually, it's probably a little too late for that. All right, today is National Three Kings Day, like Mr. Stubbs there was telling us about, this January 6th. Apple Tree Day, Armenian Christmas Day, Dry Bean Day. I hope that's exactly what it... Okay, I'm not going to read too much into that. All right. Hansel Monday, National Bean Day again. Bunch of silly stuff out there. All right. Three Kings Day. Let's see what this is real quick. On the 12th day of Christmas, January 6th, we celebrate Three Kings Day, celebrated most in Europe, Spain, and Latin America. El Dia de los Reyes, as it's called in Spanish, marks the glorification of baby Jesus by the three wise men. Okay, I probably should have known that. You knew that?
I was leaning towards the three wise men, translated into three kings.
Yeah.
That was an easy translation.
Dead giveaway.
Yeah.
All right, this day in history, 1838, the telegraph makes its debut. The telecommunications revolution begins as Samuel Morse taps out a coded message that travels over 2 miles of wire near Morristown, New Jersey. 1994, skater attacked. What's this about? January 6, 1994, Olympic skater Kerrigan attacked and injured. 2 days before the Olympic trials, an assailant strikes Nancy Kerrigan on her knee with a police baton.
And she asks why.
The attacker will later be identified as an associate of Kerrigan's rival, Tanya Harding. I didn't realize she got hit with a police baton.
I didn't realize it was a baton. I know she got hit in the knee.
Yeah. I thought it was like during some skating and she kneecapped her with a blade or something.
No, she was leaving the rink. I think she was on her way either in or out of the rink. And then this guy came by and got her as she was walking.
Okay.
So she was in transit either from the back to the rink or she was leaving the rink and he grabbed her in the hall. And
I remember the old people talking about this when I was a kid, so I'm surprised I don't remember more details. But
well, there's actually footage of her on the ground after she was hit,
holding herself,
and she's going, "Why?" Because she was that close to the Olympics.
Jesus, man.
She was the one that was going to have the slot, except for the injury, and then
Tanya Harding Day, 1994, January 6th. 2019, O's second win. Sandra Oh claims historic second Golden Globe following up her supporting actress win for Grey's Anatomy more than a decade before. Sandra Oh takes home the award for Best Actress in TV Drama at the Golden Globes, this time for Killing Eve, beating out other previous winners like Julia Roberts and Kerry Russell. She became the first Asian woman to win more than one Golden Globe. Congratulations, Sandra. Capitol storm. Y'all know that story. It's recent enough. We don't need to go into it. 2021, U.S. Capitol building stormed. I guess we'll go into it. Hundreds of supporters of President Donald Trump forced their way into the U.S. Capitol, aiming to prevent Congress from formalizing the 2020 election results. And everybody had a grand old time, and we're still talking about it. It was January 6, 2021. On to the FortWorthReport.org. This is a segment by Bob Francis, and it looks like it covers several news stories all together talking about business here in Fort Worth. Starting off with a picture of U-Haul. Find this at fortworthreport.org. To no one's surprise, the Dallas-Fort Worth-Arlington area tops the U-Haul growth Metro rankings for 2024. The DFW Metroplex posted the largest net gain of U-Haul customers using one-way moving equipment to and from metro areas last year in the U.S. There's a quote. We're going to skip that. Florida boasts 7 of the top 25 U.S. growth metros. Texas has 5, and North Carolina has 3. That surprises me. North Carolina has 3 of the fastest growing cities.
That is surprising. My wife and I have looked at the country and looked at different areas and thought we want to avoid coastlines, the East Coast, for example.
Sure.
So, yeah, that is surprising that people would. I know South Carolina and North Carolina are beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's probably part of what's going on there.
Yeah.
I just don't like the idea of being in the hurricane.
Well, recently, until recently, I didn't think of North Carolina, at least as far inland as it got hit, as particularly hurricane area. But
Right.
I was wrong, as many people were. While U-Haul rankings may not correlate directly to population or economic growth, the U-Haul Growth Index is an effective gauge of how well states, metros, and cities are attracting, maintaining residents, according to the Phoenix-based trailer and truck rental company. So, they say it's a good metric. Opal Lee at McDonald's opening. Tarrant County McDonald's owner-operators Grissett Enterprises are opening a new McDonald's located at 521 South Race, Everman, to celebrate a 2-day grand opening celebration. Will be January 10th through 11th. The celebration is from 3 to 5. June 10th, with complimentary food samples and door prizes. Customers will also have a photo with opportunity with Opal Lee, the grandmother of Juneteenth. That lady, she is still doing stuff.
Opal Lee.
Yeah.
Still alive, still kicking.
Still very active. The grand opening celebration will continue the following day from 11 to 2 with a visit from Ronald McDonald, a free petting zoo by Timberview Farmstead, and other exclusive giveaways. I don't know why McDonald's is doing such a large campaign, but that's kind of wild, right?
For people that haven't heard of McDonald's, maybe?
I guess so. Fort Worth water tank firm acquired. Grey Cliff Partners LP today announced the sale of Fort Worth-based Landmark Structures, a provider of water and industrial storage infrastructure solutions, to Cerebras Capital Management, a global investment firm. Landmark is leading designer, manufacturer, and installer of elevated water tanks for municipalities and private water utilities in the U.S. and Canada. Let's see here. It goes on. Let's see. Teeing up resale market. A former TCU golfer and now a PGA Tour member who resides in Fort Worth has signed a 4-year partnership extension with Winmark Core, franchisor of 5 resale brands: Play It Again Sports, Once Upon a Child, Plato's Closet, Music Go Around, and Style Encore. All right. This goes on at the fortworthreport.org. This is by Bob Francis. Got one more for you by the Fort Worth Report. Fort Worth plans to push amend Texas law letting landowners have city oversight. As Tarrant County lawmakers prepare to kick off the Texas legislative session January 14th, Fort Worth Report journalists are exploring the policies set to be reshaped in Austin. Fort Worth officials say they have one primary goal in the upcoming Texas legislative session: preserve the city's authority to responsibly govern its citizens and property. What the goal means in concrete terms won't be entirely clear until state lawmakers convene January 14th for the 89th session of Texas legislature. Was struggling to find you some good stories this morning. There wasn't a whole lot happening as we enter the first few days of January. But here's a good one. Fort Worth, now the 4th largest city in Texas. This is the Texan.news. You can follow along. Story by Seth Moorhead. Fort Worth, now the 4th largest city in Texas, and is now the 11th largest in the city. Now the 11th largest city in America. According to a population data study from the Texas Demographic Center, Fort Worth, as of the start of 2024, had a population of 989,878, compared to Austin's 986,928. Between 2020 and the beginning of 2024, Cowtown had a population growth of nearly 71,000 people, an increase of 7.7%. No other city in Texas has had more raw growth over that period. Fort Worth has trended towards the top of all American cities in raw population growth over the past few years, becoming America's 12th largest city during 2023, now looking to overtake Jacksonville in population and soon reach the 1 million person mark. We're getting pretty daggum close.
I thought that Austin had kind of a corner on the market for...
We blew them out of the water.
Everyone was moving from Southern California or the California coast area, and they were coming to Austin because what you could do with money from San Francisco, Los Angeles, money-wise, home-wise, you come to Austin and you can just live like a king.
Yeah, and I think that has changed since 2020 because of what you're describing. House prices went through the roof, and I don't know how much time you've spent in that area, but, man, it is squeezy.
So people are saying, well, how about not Austin because it's getting so crowded?
Yeah.
Where else can I go?
Right.
Fort Worth is very attractive.
Yeah, we've got so much room to expand outwards, and you don't really realize that until you see another dozen apartment complexes popping up, and you're like, oh, yeah, I guess that was just a big empty field.
6 months ago, and now, I mean, right here on Carroll Street, you've got those homes going up.
Yeah, right here, there's 8 units, and we looked this up the other day. And it looks like they've all been purchased already. Like they're already off the table. But somewhere between $485,000 and $750,000 is how those sold. Yeah, right here.
They're kind of like shotgun homes where they're kind of long and thin.
Right.
And then they're just kind of row to row to row.
Yeah, the cool thing is each unit has like 4 levels on it.
Oh.
And I've lived in a unit like that, and it is fun. But you're going to be climbing some stairs. All the time.
Not for the older residents.
No, I wouldn't think so. Not unless
Don't
you
retire.
got what's the wheelchair thing where you can attach it to your guardrail and ride it to the top.
Oh, like in the Gremlins.
Yeah. That ended badly. All right, we wanted a happy news story for you guys, so I found on goodnewsnetwork.org, Indian farmer changes his fortunes, finding 2 diamonds in his field worth $46,000. A poor Indian farmer has seen his fortune change in the blink of an eye after he found 2 diamonds worth almost $50,000 in his field. Ramnaresh Dubey had been sifting through dirt at a shallow depth for the past 6 months, and his luck finally paid off with a remarkable find. The 2 valuable stones, one weighing an astonishing 8.30 carats, were found in the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh. Mr. Dubey took the diamonds to be assessed by Indian government officials who valued them at $46,841. Video showed the gleaming diamonds displayed on a tray at the diamond office with the proud Mr. Dubey looking on. Officials claim both of the farmer's diamonds were off-color, decreasing the market value. They would say that if it wasn't theirs.
If I was buying them, yeah.
The small one weighed a little less than 1 carat. The resident of the village called Ramkiraya in the Panna district had to obtain permission to mine gemstones on his farmland, well worth the paperwork. He intends to use the proceeds from the diamonds to buy land and open a shop, whilst continuing to mine for gems, more gems. That $50,000 probably goes a little bit further in India, I would think.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I know $50,000 wouldn't go as long in America because of the strength of the dollar.
So yeah, the overwhelming strength. Actually, it's got a breakdown right next to the $46,000.
Oh.
It says the euro, it would be $37,000. So,
okay.
Yeah, we're still losing that race. Somebody was telling me yesterday that the exchange rate in Mexico for a peso is 20 to 1. Like,
that sounds low. I think it would be like 100 to 1. Like a peso to a dollar?
Yeah, I think it used to be.
Oh, okay.
And I think like you said, the dollar has kind of it's not holding its weight like it used to. All right, then we got a funny news story for you because Comedy Night is back. You guys, if you didn't make it out in 2024, come out to the first 2025 comedy show here Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. Is that right? Wait a minute. It might be 8 o'clock. Follow along for more details. Yeah. Is it 7 or 8? Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. I don't have the details in front of me right now. This is what happens when we take 2 weeks off. Show up at 7, and we'll have some comedy going for you shortly after that. But it's going to be great. We got Cockpit Comedy. Our buddy Anthony Reyes is putting on a great show every week right here at Hoppin', located next to Doc's Records. Here's your funny news story of the week. Of the day, I guess. 50 years later, a man who grew up in suburban Detroit tried to return a very overdue baseball book to his boyhood library. You can keep it. The answer from the library was you can keep it and there's no fine. Chuck, 63, of Chicago, said he visited the library in Warren while in town for Thanksgiving carrying a book titled Baseball Zaniest Stars. He had borrowed it in 1974 as a 13-year-old baseball nut but never returned it. So they're like, yeah, you can just keep it. Stories from apnews.com. When's the last time you checked a book out of the library?
Checking a book out of the library. It had to have been the 80s.
Yeah.
It had to have been the 80s.
I wish I was more of like, I have this vision of myself where I read more books, and I wish I had a library card and then I went to the library and checked books out, but yeah, I don't. I watch a lot of TV, though.
Well, at the technology that we're at, if you really wanted to get into books, I would think you'd just get yourself a tablet.
Yeah, or a Kindle.
And then you just download them. And then the progression goes like this. You start out and you go, boy, I really wish I would go to the library and get more books.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really have to do that. I can just get a tablet, and then I can, why don't I get the books on tape? Why don't I just, I'm not going to listen to them.
And on it goes.
Yeah.
We've been tracking this story for at least a week. NASA probe beams home first details. Update after record-breaking flyby of the sun. During Christmas, this probe was going past the sun, and we lost contact with it for 2 to 3 days. NASA was anticipating this, so nobody was panicking. But whenever that disruption in communication between the satellite probe or whatever and NASA, when that happened, everybody's just kind of holding their breath because you don't know. Mm-hmm. Once it loses connection, it's like,
it's out there in space.
Did it do okay? Did it burn up in the corona? NASA's Parker Solar Probe has beamed home its first detailed update 8 days after making a record-breaking approach to the sun. The agency announced. The spacecraft confirmed its systems and instruments are healthy and operating normally. NASA said in an update released Thursday, a week after the probe passed within a record-breaking 3.8 million miles of the scorching star. NASA said scientists at the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory began receiving more detailed telemetry or housekeeping data from the spacecraft on New Year's Day. The update showed that Parker had executed pre-programmed commands and that its science instruments were operational during the record-breaking approach. Let's see, we got a quote here past that. Parker, which launched in 2018, has flown through the sun's crown-like outer atmosphere, or corona, and the spacecraft is expected to circle the sun through at least September. The probe's next 2 close flybys of the sun will occur March 22nd and June 19th, NASA said. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of data they're getting off of this. I don't know. Is this just a look what we can do kind of thing?
Well, I mean, the technology of SPF 10,000, I guess, is
Yeah. We're upgrading our sunscreen. That's what this is all about.
Put it to the test.
Yeah. Are we back to wearing sunscreen? Do you remember there was a news report came out and said stop wearing it because it doesn't work and it gives you cancer? You remember that?
I know eggs were good for you, then eggs were bad.
Oh,
for
that's
you. Coffee was good for
Yeah.
you, coffee was bad for you. Wine was good for you,
Right.
wine was bad for you.
Causes cancer now. Everything causes cancer. Yeah.
Used to cure cancer.
Wine?
It's good
Maybe.
for you.
Yeah.
Bad for you.
I've never heard coffee been stated as like a bad thing. I've always heard coffee was good for you.
Well, it's a drug.
If you're putting a bunch of crap in it, but if you're drinking it black, like
Like a normal person.
like a normal human being, I don't think it's bad for you. But yeah, there's lots of good studies for coffee. Anyway, every time I have a cup of coffee, I feel like I'm taking my vitamins.
There you go.
All right, tell our friends here. This is the third time you've been on the show. Isn't
Third time now. I get the jacket. I get the third timers jacket.
Members only. But there's going to be some folks tuning in that don't know who you are yet. So can you tell them a little bit about Motive Auto?
So Motive Auto is basically me going out with a camera, going to car meets, car shows, and filming. So if someone didn't get to go, or if they just want to see what's going on in the car culture in Dallas-Fort Worth, I try and bring that to them through Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and things like that.
Yeah. Excellent. And tell everybody what the Instagram handle is.
So the Instagram is M0T1V3_auto. It spells Motive Auto, but I use some letters in there to
make it all cool.
Mix it up.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely unique. You're not going to get it mixed up with anybody else's. So.
And we've got an event coming up on the 18th of January. It's over at a place called Yellow Belly Drag Strip. And you can just look at the Yellow Belly for all the details on times and everything. But it'll be the 18th. That's a Saturday, and there's a company organization called Stage Zero that's going to be out there organizing, and it should be a good time.
That does sound cool. You'll be there.
I will be there.
Are they charging tickets?
There's normally a charge at the gate for spectators, and then if you're wanting to race, that's a different ticket. So, but spectators, I'm going to say like $20.
And I don't know this for sure. We looked up the location earlier, and it does look like an old airfield, which is kind of cool. But awesome. And then you and I are going to try to put some kind of car meetup event here at Hoppin'.
Shouldn't be too hard.
We're spinning our wheels trying to figure that out.
I'll just make a couple of phone calls and it'll all be done.
Maybe we'll wait till it's not freezing outside.
I think we'll get a better response when the temperatures come up just a little bit.
If you have an event coming up, make sure you email us, media@fortworthroots.com. Send us an audio file of you talking about your event. We would love that. We'll play it on the show. Like I think I mentioned earlier, we do record this Monday through Thursday, releases at 8 a.m. on all platforms, and we record right here at Hoppin' every morning. You guys need to come check this place out. I promise you will not be disappointed. I don't know that you can find a cheaper place to get a beer. And that's not the main selling point for this place, but I think it's important. $1.80 for Lone Star for a full pour, but you only get charged by the ounce. So if you want to go down the wall, you try something out. I didn't really care for that. Doesn't matter. Go down, pour yourself 2 more ounces of something else. Try the whole wall. 58 taps on there, THC seltzers, wine, craft beer, and then a full bar for cocktails. Great place for any kind of event. You got anything coming up? This is the spot for that. If you don't want to leave us a voicemail on email, you can just pick up the phone and call us, 817-988-1292. And we got a ton of stuff happening with Fort Worth Roots. We'd love for you to follow us on Instagram at Fort Worth Roots. This Tuesday, we will be out at McFly's at 5 o'clock, 5 to 7. We're going to have the McGrath Project album release party, followed up by Tommy Luke and Dippy Dog for open mic night. It's going to be rad, and we're going to make it cooler every Tuesday. On the 14th, we're going to have the Davis team out there for a recording, and we're going to have some pizza for you guys. So what are you doing next Tuesday? All right. That's everything I've got, brother. Do you have anything else for folks before we leave this freezing cold Monday morning?
The only other thing that I was thinking about that's coming up that's very exciting is an event called Texas 2K.
Okay.
And it's going to be down in Ennis at the Texas Motorplex.
Okay.
And so that's coming up. That's easy enough to find.
When is
Texas 2K. I believe it is in March.
Okay. Well, you're definitely going to be back on the show before then, right?
Sure. I can talk more about that next time.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it, folks. Thank y'all for hanging with us. Went a little bit long this Monday. I just had to get all that out of there. All right. As you move through the day, we hope that you will choose love and gratitude every chance you get. Until tomorrow, folks. Good day.
Never had some love to heal me. You're oh so wonderful. I'll never let go. 'Cause dreams do come true. And here comes my great day in the